Hey, it's me, Big P, and I am here to save your Crackling Lance build. I am just about to start my second day of the Heist League. Had a fantastic start on the first day with the Crackling Lance Inquisitor, pretty much leveled with it the whole way. Had a few bumps here and there, but overall it's still a spell, so once you figure out exactly how to scale it and just work with it, there's a lot that I figured out. Um, in one sitting, I went to 77. I've never played a league for this long. I'm going to say half of that's the league, half of that's the build. Once it really got going, it was super fun to map with. And yeah, it's here. And I'm a little bit disappointed that I see a lot of people kind of talking shit about Crackling Lance. I think they kind of are making unfair comparisons to Arc when they're actually pretty different skills in how they work and function. So anyway, I already alked this, and this is a pretty scary map. This is the highest map tier I have right now. I went to bed after I killed Baran, who I did, deathless, all this stuff. The build doesn't even have any of the defensive layers that I talked about in the original video. But, I'm just going to go over everything I have right now, specifically the Lance, and how to get that working, and what setup I have with it, and what you might need to do to make it work, because it is a bit of it's a bit of a diva skill. It needs a certain amount of things, and you need to support it properly and all that stuff. But we'll go into it. Here's a scary map. Now, I do want to point out exactly what's happening in the map, because it actually is going to go pretty fast. So, as you can see, I have an Orb of Storms here. It's a 4-link. Orb of Storms, I was leveling with Orb of Storms and Stormblast Mine for until I got Crackling Lance. And while I was leveling with it, I figured, hey, Orb of Storms is probably going to work with the Crackling Lance really well, and I was right. Orb of Storms kind of is a vessel for a lot of utility that we've actually lost, specifically as spellcasters now, because the marks don't give us charges like for free anymore. Pretty much, you can't just throw it in a herald of ice, like I have over here. So a Orb of Storms it kind of turns it into a 2-button build, maybe even a 3-button build if you want to look into the Sigil of Power. So Orb of Storms is linked with Innervate, Power Charge on Critical, and Ice Bite. And so basically this is just a utility setup that does respectable damage on its own and has great coverage as well, because we're scaling a lot of area of effect with the build. Not to mention that it's not that bad to just throw down here and there in any packs. You'll certainly be doing it if it gives you 3 frenzies and 3 power charges pretty much immediately. The Crackling Lance I have on a 5-link with Intensify, because it's built in with this. Hypothermia, because we're chilling. We have a lot of cold damage. Actually, I got a super lucky Call of the Brotherhood drop. I was considering doing one, like picking one up. I was I was on the lookout for a ring to fix my cold and lightning resistances, and yeah, it just, okay, we'll sit with 15, don't get greedy. It's nice, converting, if you can look at the amount of damage, it's like almost now half and half cold and lightning, and it helps because a lot of the Inquisitor power is actually just generic ailments, and a lot of times you are actually just scaling generic ailments. And the way crit works with ailments means that the chill, it's just going to be another layer of defense, freezing, all that good stuff. Don't really even have to think about it. Even if you don't have a Call of the Brotherhood, if you have an Ice Bite in your, whatchamacallit, Orb of Storm setup, maybe the Hypothermia will still work. I don't know. I can't really tell. I threw this in as soon as I got this, because I'm like, okay, we're going to be chilling and freezing and all that stuff now. Faster casting itself is actually the king right now. I probably might be able to trade this out for another power gem like Conk Effect, Spell Echo maybe, probably Controlled Destruction once I'm more comfortable with my crit. We are just using some crappy leveling weapons that I don't really care about. And yeah, Inspiration. I don't know how to break this to you guys. I don't think this is an Archmage build, no matter which way you slice it. You're going to need to be casting this pretty much constantly, and especially if you're going to use something like Sigil of Power. Sigil of Power increases your mana cost. So as you can see, when I'm standing on it, the mana cost is 38, and when I'm off it, it's 33. Doesn't seem like much, but when you have all your buffs up in a map and you're going, you'll see. So again, keep in mind that I'm not automating the Orb of Storms at all right now, depending on how the cooldown of that. Oh, look at that Harvest Cape Flutter with that. Is that from the Storms? I'm just bugging out. No, it is the Orb of Storms messing with it. Okay, we're getting sidetracked. Let's do a fucking map. What the fuck? Do I need Nico stuff? Alright, we can pop that real quick. I'm going to try and contain all of my heist type, what I like about it. Actually, let's turn down the in-game audio, because the last time I did a video, it was me mumbling over screaming and blasting. I'm going to do a separate video on why I like heist, because I like heist. Let's just put it that way, okay? So as you can see, you don't need to throw it down for every pack. Oh, look at that spinies. This will be great to like cover, like, okay, why would you want to convert some of your damage to cold damage? Well, the little spiny boys did not hurt me there. Of course, now that I'm like bragging about it, these guys are going to fuck me up. So I don't know if you can see everything that's going on up there in the top. If you don't know what Innervate does, that's a little buff that gives a lot of flat lightning damage. We love it. I'm running a Chaos Golem. That's just for a little bit of defensive layering right now. Alright, this is not a... Ooh, okay. So, what else? What else are we doing? Flame Dash. I was going to try Lightning Warp, but I think I just don't have the skill sockets. Actually, if I can show you real quick, the Flame Dash is linked with Arcane Surge, a very high level one, and Sigil of Power with Second Wind, giving it a second cooldown, so you can proc it if you cast this twice, and then maybe... Oh wait, I guess I leveled it over too much. 252 mana? Oh yeah, wow, okay. So we're going to need to adjust that. But if you give your Sigil of Power Second Wind, you can have a really high level Arcane Surge proc off 2 of them, which you're probably going to want anyway, because I don't know, if you've played with Sigil of Power, you put 1 down, and then the cooldown's actually pretty long, and it puts down, I think, on your cursor? No, it's on top of you. So placement of it, you know, it's possible for it to get a little bit sloppy. And I gotta say, the sometimes like trying to maximize your DPS and everything in this build is a little bit tricky, because you got your 2 blue balls here, and then you gotta you know, work with your lightning shaft too, if you know what I'm saying. So there's a lot of like moving parts here. It was a little bit trickier when I'm leveling, because I had to be more aware of it. Now that the damage is coming up and my gear is getting a little better, it's just fun. It's just so fun to map with, especially with the shatters. Call of the Brotherhood. I mean, if you're trade league, it's, I don't even, how much is it right now? Oh wow, it actually popped up to like 25 chaos. So it's not like free. I'm actually pretty lucky that that dropped, I guess. Not necessary. You could throw Herald of Ice in to your builds to give you probably enough damage effectiveness on the lance is pretty solid. Oh man, yeah, did I like miss the Nikos? I feel like I didn't see any, and this is such a straightforward map, but yeah, what the hell? Well, there's one more. Oh no, that was okay. Like I said, I have bad memory. I've never played this much at a league start, and I've really barely slept. I kind of woke up because it's a little chilly, and I'm like, all right, perfect, back to it. Put a portal down just in case, but I don't think we'll need it. So the build actually doesn't have any of the defensive layers that I really intended to be using right now. So it's basically, I mean, I'll go into all the choices that I made so far. So something to note about Crackling Lance is that it is not only a range skill, but like, oof, ate that one. Got a decent bit of not drawing that high. Decent bit of mitigation here. Here's the Citadel. Hello. And yeah, that's the map. It's I think people are kind of underestimating exactly what it's doing here. I don't know if you guys are seeing this. This is not a projectile. This is a pure line of damage. Even Arc has a travel time. Okay, so this Crackling Lance kind of requires a more active and aware playstyle where you need to be pointing at stuff. It actually does have interesting like name lock properties. If you know what that means, is if you hover over, let's say Karak was the bad guy. Oh, see, if I'm not on him and I'm manually aiming it, you can still hit him. But if I was hovering over him and just held on the trigger, it would kind of follow him, which is kind of helpful for tracking down the rare and a bunch of mob packs. Balancing the intensity that's built into the gem might seem like kind of annoying to juggle, but it really just kind of feels intuitive as you're moving, as you're dashing. You actually want, see, I don't want that big one. I want this blah because it has more coverage. You know, you kind of have to mix and match with what you got, depending on what your build's at, and what you need. And what you'll probably need initially is a lot of cast speed. So there's been a decent bit of adjustment for my initial tree. So the cast speed I got was, well, first off, this is what I rushed because I knew I wanted to level and practice with the Crackling Lance. Another stack of intensity is exactly what you need. There's really no way around it. You could go for this if you're doing an Archmage version, but I really do not recommend, unless you have a really nice mana flask, then you're like Pathfinder version, you know what you're doing. I'm not even going to talk about that. That's another video. Go ask Ziz in his chat if your Archmage build sucks, because I told you not to try it. Spamming it is too much, man. Like, I'm running Inspiration and main links, you know, and I think I will the whole way through. So Crackling Speed. Obviously, you got to get Crackling Speed if you're doing Crackling Lance. You dummy, what are you doing? You know? If you don't have this, go do this right now. Nimbleness is also fantastic with movement speed, just helps everything feel nice. I almost was going to go into Ethereal Feast because we have a little bit of spell damage leeches life here, which is nice. If you're in Elemental Overload, which I leveled with, I only very recently, once I got my 3rd Ascendancy node, Righteous Providence, spec'd out of it, maybe even a little bit early, because I don't have full crit, and even with the Diamond Flask up and the power charges, it's still not fantastic. Mental Rapidity is good. You go for this once you get the staff, this while you're leveling, but like this stuff like makes like your respec out of it a little bit more painful. Where's more cast speed? Like there's not that much on the tree. I feel like I went somewhere else. No? Well, I mean, I'll put the POB up here. I guess I didn't mention you get a lot from Inquisitor. This is the first time I've ever leveled Inquisitor, and probably actually done it properly, where I didn't rush Inevitable Judgment, saving it for the Overlap, even though when Mathil did an Inquisitor, I yelled at him for not going for Inevitable Judgment, because it's my favorite node ever, and it's like, wow, more damage, let's go. It was really nice to have 20% cast speed, and then the whole immune to elemental element things means that I'm running probably the funniest flask setup I've ever run for an early league. As you can see, I love my cast speed quickening. I rolled on the diamond. I was like, okay, I can get away with it, and then I realized I already had it on here too. I don't know if they stack. I don't really care. You don't need to care. I'm gonna maybe throw in Atziri's Promise on the build for a little bit more damage. Maybe a Vinctar's. Here's my warding flask. That's all you need, and I got a Flagellance quick delivered flask of adrenaline. Yeah. You get to save on some alts. It's just a nice thing to start with in the league. Yeah, Sanctuary, and then you go into crit after. I almost went into Augury of Penitence. If you're doing a non-crit build all the way through this, and I guess Instruments of Virtue, I don't know, it's hard to say exactly what you would do in that situation because I don't know what you're doing if you're not going crit and Inevitable Judgment. Just Righteous Providence, honestly, by itself with the effect of non-damaging ailments. That's chill, that's freeze, that's shock, that's everything we're doing. It's really just kind of like Inquisitor kind of lends itself to the generic cold and lightning. I would say a little bit more than the fire because, you know, Ignite's like its own thing. You have to balance and boost. Whereas cold and lightning, it's like, yeah, I'm shocking, I'm freezing, I love it, and that's it. The tree I will upload with all my current gear. I guess I should go over that right now. So this wand, is the skill point still bugged? I can't figure out. This is still bugged. 1, 2, 3. See, it has 5 mods. I thought I could put another prefix on it, but everything I said is whatever. I don't really care. The wand, spell damage, lightning damage. Pretty much, you just have to know what to be looking for on your weapon. You can even use 2 wands. I leveled with what? I put it up for sale. I leveled with this thing. Spell damage, cast speed. It just had like you need to figure out exactly what mods do something and don't do anything. Obviously, cast speed is king. You can give profane wand actually and just start crafting on that if you want something like kind of simple to go into and get more cast speed on the implicit and then more and more throughout the rest of your build. I was also leveling with that Axiom Perpetuum, dropped for me pretty early. You know, that's just kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's leveling with the spell honestly isn't that hard, especially if you have enough. Why is what is that like hissing sound? Yeah, okay. Leveling with the spell is like, let's just say I'm glad I did it this league. You know, leveling with an attack last league was okay because Harvest let you kind of get some cheaty type weapons kind of early. Leveling with the spell just felt overall a lot better. The helmet is just, you know, upgraded as you can, you know, decent life and resistances as you need it. Same thing for the shield. I am eventually going to go for that dust on staff, but there were none on the market before I went to bed. Even though I got lucky with 2 X drops, I'm hoping I can snipe one kind of early. But yeah, this one was just really nice. I mean, the generic increased lightning damage for me, pretty fantastic. The boots, again, very generic. I mean, the whole thing is set up so that you can start SSF. Like, these uniques that I'm using are not, you know, necessary at all. This is kind of like a cherry on top, you know, just rares for your resistances in life. To bring it up, ES is also something you might want to. You know, this brings up your effective HP. I guess it's worth talking about that. Oh, were we not using Vitality for that last one? I think the new Vitality is really nice. It's definitely saved my ass a couple times, and you kind of have to, like, balance it against your mana costs that you're, you know, effectively. I wouldn't balance it against 1 mana cast of it. I would balance it against 4, really. And then some, because you're also going to throw down an Orb of Storms and a Sigil, you know, all that stuff. I already showed you the Flame Dash, Arcane Surge, Sigil of Power, and Second Wind. I would try and maybe leave this at a low enough level so that the double cast of Sigil works for it. That's where you get a nice beefy one as you like set up for a boss. Orb of Storms I already went over. Innervate gives you a bunch of lightning damage when it kills and has a chance to shock. PCOC, we love power charges, and we don't get them for free anywhere because we're not a trickster. This is basically my trickster ascendancy setup. You know, it's fast enough so that, I mean, I guess trickster has +1 to frenzies and power, so we're not that good, but it's pretty fantastic, especially if you're hurting for cast speed or just some generic damage, you want to boost your crit. Trust me, it's worth it. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that the final version of the build is going to have a 6-link Crackling Lance and a 6-link Orb of Storm. As far as I'm concerned, they are sister skills. Maybe next, like, give them like a special interaction next league or something, GGG, to make people do it, because you got to do it. Oh my god. This is horrible. Do not get this amulet. Damn it. It's giving me Dex. I'm even in Dex in the tree here. You know, early league woes and stuff like that. 5-link just dropped for me. I'm keeping it open just in case I need to swap some other gear, and, you know, some other stuff. But I am going to invest into a nice staff to try and 6-link that. And Brian Rot Mark dropped for me. Is this like worth anything? There's like a couple of chaos. It's kind of interesting. I threw a chaos golem in just to get a little bit more physical damage reduction. Once we started like focusing on like evasion and energy shield pieces, we quickly went down to like 0 armor. I honestly should swap this, or maybe even this, to a granite flask or maybe a basalt flask, because as we're getting to higher tier content, we're going to get the shit beat out of us. So yeah, Chaos Golem is kind of like a band-aid fix for that, as well as Vitality, really. We might be using Discipline in the final mix of the build. I'm not entirely sure. Like scaling, we might go EB, Mind Over Matter, to like kind of get to ignore all the energy costs. Maybe we can take inspiration out of the links and get like more damage stuff. But for right now, in order to gain Arcane Surge and use the Sigil of Power properly, you need to spend mana. So I'm fine. It's been fine for me. Actually, I wanted to go over. Oh wait, duh! I'm not gonna run out of mana if I don't have any reserves. So I don't know if you can see this. So this is the full casting speed. Hopefully we can get to the point. Yeah. So you see how Crackling Lance is interesting, especially when you have enough cast time that you can kind of continuously cast it while bottomed out with mana, and it's not even that bad. You know, like sometimes it'll feel really clunky sometimes where like, you know, with other skills and you'll like try and cast the skill and then like it won't work. This one like comes out kind of quick. I don't know. I liked it a lot. I've been having a lot of fun with this build. Oh my god, this is a 20-minute video already. I really didn't want. I didn't even gush about fucking heist at all. I'm gonna go live. Come to my channel if you have any questions. Because you know we're still figuring stuff out. But the setup I have right now got me into maps. Act 10 Kitaba Deathless, Baran Deathless. It's going hard. It is a bit of an active playstyle, so you know you do have to get your gamer juice. I got a green tea here. Out. You know, it's not as you know, one button ignore. It feels kind of PoE 2E. So let me know if you have any questions. We're gonna be figuring it all out this weekend. Hopefully we'll have pretty much everything by next week, and I maybe can do like a full build guide. But I mean, that's all I really have to say. Crackling Lance forever. It's me, Big Pilgrim. If you want to see, I'll probably be on the ladder by the end of today, because there's no. I checked PoE Ninja just before I was going to bed. Nobody got an Inquisitor on the ladder yet. So I'm gonna try and hit that. Let's go. Let's push. Let's play. Heist is sick. That's gonna be a separate video though. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to the channel. Probably gonna play this league a lot, and I'll see you later.